Hey guys, it's going to be an awesome Saturday morning. Today, I've got pork belly going in and one of my very favorite things in the entire world to cook, which is a Tex-Mex Carne Guisada, San Antonio style. Stay tuned. All right guys, while this cooker is setting up and running right now, she's at 81, 82. It won't take long to get it up to around 250. I've got it set to 275, so it'll push a little bit past and I can settle it back down to 250. Get that smoke to clean up. Once it does, we'll get it on. But yeah, I'm about to go ahead and cut this up and get it seasoned. All right, so I'm absolutely covering these things, just the fat, with salt. A lot of it. Getting it on there thick, almost to where I can't see the skin anymore. What that's gonna do is pull the moisture out of it. We're gonna pull all this salt off of it, okay? And we'll wipe it down. It won't be a super salty taste at all, but that's really going to draw the moisture out and make this skin super crunchy. So, about to go in. Hey guys, I'm gonna come out here and show you what's going on. I don't want you to think that we've got to come out and check this temperature all the time. We don't. It's on the app. I can see it from anywhere. I'm basically doing it just to show you. You'd rather see it live than on the app screen. The app is very user-friendly. Okay, but anyway, it's been running about 10 minutes. It's already at 131. My guess is in about another 10 or 15 minutes, we should be at 250. And if this smoke gets cleaned up, then we'll get it on. So until we start running pretty clear, we'll wait. So still waiting. Get it on here in a few minutes. All right, before I put these in, I hit it with a generous layer of Honey Hog Hot, followed up by some Voodoo, Holy Voodoo, both MeatChurch products. I did that on the meat side, and then I flipped it over, got the skin side up, and I covered it with a thick layer of salt. Okay, that layer of salt's gonna pull the moisture out of it, and that's gonna make a nice crispy layer of skin. It's gonna be, if you've ever eaten pork rinds, it's gonna be very similar to that, chicharrones. You're gonna have an entire flat, crispy side right there. And hopefully if we do this right, when we get our cut, you'll hear that crunching through there. And let me tell you, it's pretty delectable bite of meat. So anyhow, I'm about to get these things on. The smoke's running clear and we're at temp. I'm gonna put these two kind of catty corner from each other, since these two can actually give me a little bit more live temperature reading than these. These are older version, so the temperature readings we'll still get them, and I'm talking about the internal temp of the cabinet, not the meat. Okay, they all take the temperature of the meat, but these two right here will give me the internal temperature live in the cabinet. And these two, they will also, but I kind of have to scroll to a graph and find it. So let me get these things on, and yeah, about to hit it. Okay guys, got them on. Set up like so. I've got it kind of set so that my probe here is going to fit kind of right in between, and you know, we'll be able to see how close they are to the measurement of the S1 probe. So, all right guys, let's see how we did here on these pork bellies. They look great, man. Let's see what kind of crust we got here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is gonna be great. Hot. wait to take a bite. Ooh, guys, here it is. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And the bottoms of those are so crunchy. Unbelievable. All right, here we go. Taste test. Wow. Unreal. Well, that right there is some of the best barbecue I've ever had. The meat is so tender. The crunch from the chicharron skin. Oh my goodness. You guys got to try this. Wow, guys, that pork belly was insane. Holy cow. About the time that we're about halfway into cooking that pork belly, I went ahead and started on the carne guisada. And let me tell you, it's turning out really well. Let's go ahead and cut to that footage right now. All right, guys, time to start the carne guisada. So all I'm gonna do is put a little cumin, salt and pepper on these, and then I'm gonna throw them in the smoker and get a little smoke on them. Won't be real long, just to impart a little bit of smoke flavor before I cube them and brown them. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, I also halved up 2 poblano peppers. I'm gonna put these in the smoker along with it just for a little bit. It's only gonna get about anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour smoke on it. We're not really trying to cook it in the smoker. We're just trying to get some smoke flavor on it before we dice it up. All right, there it is. We're gonna let it run for, like I said, about half an hour, 45 minutes maybe. And then we'll dice it up, put it in the pan. Okay, so we've got about 4 pounds of meat on the smoker right now, taking on some smoke. Again, we're not trying to cook it in there. We're just getting some smoke flavor on it. It's got some cumin and salt and pepper on it. And also got 2 poblanos in there. We're gonna chop those poblanos up fairly, rough chop, meaning, you're gonna chop it about the size of quarters, maybe. Typically I'll cut maybe like rectangular shapes. So if you image think about the size of a quarter in terms of a square, and then cut that in half lengthwise. Basically, that's about the size of the pieces of poblano that'll be in this. You can use bell pepper, but the poblano's got a little smokier nature to it. I like it better. And then we're gonna rough chop these. So yeah, I don't want anything too small in there because it's gonna cook down anyway. Plus, if you got picky eaters and they wanna pick around the onions, rough chop it so they can see them more easily and pick around them. But I'm gonna rough chop this up and get a little seasoning on it. Okay, all I did so far was quarter it, and then I'm going to cut out each one of those pieces in about thirds, and that'll be good enough for the rough chop on the tomato. All right, there we go. So you can see about the size of that rough chop. And now I'll hit up the onion. All right, there you see my rough chopped onion. Now each one of those chunks is not much, smaller than each of these quartered up Romas. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get the onion in a pan, and I'm gonna start to caramelize that a little bit. And then I'm gonna get the meat and the poblano in there as well and get that working together. The tomato is gonna be the last thing I add to that. So let me get that in the pan and get it going. Pretty important tip right here. If you wanna do some authentic Mexican food, it's gonna sound nasty, but use lard as your source of oil. It's authentic, and honestly, it's all natural. It's not, anything that's been chemically altered in any way. It's just been purified, and it's got a bad name over the years. So use that anytime that you're doing your vegetables for this, and when you're browning the meat. That lard is going to give it an authentic Mexican flavor. Get my rough chop on my poblano, and you can see, about the size that we're looking at, something like that. That's good enough. We'll go ahead and throw these on while the onions are caramelizing. and then we'll get the meat in there and start to brown it up. All right, we've got about 45 minutes of smoke on this. That's good enough. I don't need it to be cooked because I'm gonna dice it up and I'm gonna brown it in the pan with the vegetables. Once you start seeing the burn spots on the meat, you know, where it's good and browning and you add the tomatoes in, and this is where it'll start to make its own gravy. So at this stage right here where we're seeing this juice really kind of rise up to the top, we are going to transfer it to a deeper pot, and then I'm going to add a little bit of a secret weapon here. And here's the secret weapon, guys. Bollner's Fiesta brand Carne Guisada seasoning. Now, look, I know this is cheating a little bit, okay? However, this stuff is extremely good. If you can find it, you definitely want to use it. If not, if you can't find this, you're just going to add more cumin, salt and pepper, a little tiny bit of chili powder, and just keep mixing it until you get the flavor profile right. Carne Guisada has a pretty strong cumin flavor to it. You'll know it when you smell it. But this stuff is great. It does have directions on the bottle for if their version of this, which is theirs, is very simple. Meat, water, oil, and this. That's it, okay? But we're gonna add about 1/3 of this container, maybe a little bit more, because we got a little bit more than 4 pounds of meat, so almost half, and a little water to cover it up, and that's it. All right, I'm just making a slurry with this. Just a little bit of water in with almost half the bottle. And I'm going to dump this in and then add a little more water to top it off. So originally this is going to look a little watery, but as it heats up it'll thicken. And then finish that gravy off and it's going to be incredible. That's about as fast of a boil as we want. It's looking pretty good here. I'm just gonna let this simmer for 2-3 hours at least till dinner time. So the Carne Guisada is done, and man, was it ever good. The gravy on a Carne Guisada, when you do it right, it's just a silky, smooth gravy, and man, the texture and aroma is just, it's amazing. It is absolutely my favorite Tex-Mex dish, and you can always judge a great Mexican food place by their tortillas, their salsa, and their Carne Guisada, man. So yeah, we're really fired up on how it turned out. I hope you guys give it a shot. It's really good. Make sure you get a good cut of meat. I used shanks this time. Typically I use chuck tenderloin, and if you really want to make a silky smooth one, you know, use a rib roast. I know it's expensive, but dadgum, it turns out good. So hey, till next time guys, I appreciate you watching.